So let me go ahead and help you help yourself. If you are a business owner or you have an idea to become a business owner, I want to at least start this conversation out by saying it's going to be one of the hardest decisions you make in your life to be a business owner and to remain a business owner. Statistics, studies, surveys all show 9 out of 10 businesses fail every 5 years. 9 out of 10 businesses fail every 5 years. So even though it doesn't look like businesses are closing, because you always see businesses moving around and operating in the marketplace, what you don't see is the cyclical process that takes place within every 5-year window, meaning that these businesses are still operating, but what you don't know is these are all new businesses that have just come into that cycle, but 9 out of 10 fail, they close, they no longer exist within a 5-year window. So that's one fact you really need to know. Now, the 1%, the 1 out of 10 that survive, that overcome, that thrive, that become sustainable, they are being led by individuals who may have put themselves in a position to learn what it takes to lead, to learn what it takes to grow, to learn what it takes to operate a business entity. That means they have either hired those people and they have gone on a journey together, very similar to what I've had to do. I was a solopreneur. My wife and I were really two-people team, and we didn't know anything about running and operating a legitimate business system. So I had to make the decision to figure those things out, learn how to build an infrastructure, learn how to create systems and processes, or at least use systems and processes, and how I could integrate them all together cohesively to work so that my sales can continue to grow, my marketing could continue to work, my operational systems would function correctly, my financial systems would track my activities. All of these things are essential. And most of the people who fail, the 9 out of 10 people, they fail because there's no demand for their products and services. That's one of the top reasons why. So you may have a good idea, you may have a product and service, maybe it's not priced right, maybe it's not packaged right, maybe you didn't present it right, maybe there's an issue with your sales or your marketing or your operations or your logistics. These are things that have to happen even if you have a good product. Number 2, this is another big reasons why 9 out of 10 businesses fail, is because they have no support. They have no help. Well, nobody's going to work for somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know how to onboard their team member. They don't know how to orientate that person. They don't know how to clearly define the role and the responsibility of that person. Everybody's just twiddling their fingers until they run out of money. Another reason why 9 out of 10 businesses fail is because they have no working capital. Well, working capital is actually revenue. So if you're not generating revenue, if you're not making sales, you're not going to have working capital. And most likely banks or institutions or lenders are not going to give you any loans or credit accounts. So these are things that you have to be clear on, and you got to be willing to learn these things. One of the reasons why I teach this stuff, because it took me years to figure this out. I didn't even think about finding a coach or a consultant at the time that I went through these processes. I don't know what I was thinking about. I don't come from the world of having coaches and networking and having relationships. So it really just bypassed me until one day I realized, wow, the same thing that I'm doing in ministry, in church, as a church leader, as a ministry leader, meaning that I've got a pastor, I've got a mentor, I've got people who pour into me, who hold me accountable, who help me understand the things that I need to understand, and they give me the motivation and the inspiration I need. I'm like, wow, what if I had this in business? Duh. And it dawned on me. And guess what I did immediately? I started paying to get those people in my life, paying to get access to those people, to see what they're doing, to learn certain things. I read books, I studied, I researched. It took me a long time and a lot of time. and a lot of effort and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of my money to be able to put an infrastructure together so that I could see my business succeed. And now my organizational enterprise, I consider it to be successful. It's a 7-figure organizational enterprise. I believe I'm on my way to 8 figures. That would be $10 million. I believe one day I'll be at 9 or 10 figures. But guess what? What I know now today is that none of this is going to happen if, in fact, you don't have the right infrastructure. That means if you have started your LLC, but you really don't know if you filed it and formed it right and structured it right. Maybe you don't even have it yet and you want to know what you need to do. Maybe you don't have the right systems and processes because there are some glitches like in your marketing, your sales, your operations. You just don't have clearly defined roles. All of these things you're gonna need in order to succeed. So I want to share that with you. If there's anything that I can do, of course, I have programs that we can train you, we can coach you, we can consult you, and really give you these tools and resources that you need to be successful. I promise you, once you start learning these things, whether it's with me or somebody else or somewhere else, once you start learning the things about structuring and systems and processes and how they work within a business, every day you wake up, you're going to be excited about it because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And at some point, you're going to get to the light or be the light outside of the tunnel.